Gentlemen, our AFP Chief of Staff, General Guerrero.
Morning, General.
Good morning. Good morning.
They would like to ask the first question.
Opening statement. Kinakailangan pa ba dito? Anyway, I feel privileged and honored to be facing the media. My first time to face all of you. Although in the past, I already know that you have been wanting to get this kind of interaction with the Chief of Staff, but unfortunately, my schedule wouldn't allow it. So it's only now that I'm able to accede to your request, and right now I'm here to answer questions. I know that the country is now facing many challenges in terms of security, and I also know that you being the messengers and the channels that by way the public is getting information about yung security concerns natin, I know that you yourselves are interested to find out the latest developments pagdating sa security natin. So this is the opportunity for you to ask me any questions that you might have, and for us to be able to enlighten the public about yung security challenges that we are facing. Yes.
How do we plan to celebrate vis-a-vis the Marawi conflict, and how do we plan to honor or recognize the mga heroes natin? Is it closer that we're going to award the Medal of Valor to one of our heroes?
Yes, as far as the 82nd AFP anniversary is concerned, we plan to have a simple but meaningful commemoration and celebration. In that regard, we have lined up activities that would not only highlight the heroism of our soldiers, not only in Marawi but in other places as well, who have distinguished themselves in combat and in other fields. We have also lined up activities that would cater to the requirements of our soldiers, particularly health activities, health service activities, including yung ating awarding of medals and recognition to deserving personnel. It's true that we have recommended a Medal for Valor awardee for this year's celebration, and we will just be announcing it during the anniversary day itself. Wala pa sa ngayon.
Sir, good morning. Mr. from Philippines. Sir, communist insurgency has been leveling the country for so many years. How bent are we to finish it off? The order of the president is a total crackdown. Is there any time frame under your watch?
Time frame definitely we have. My term is just a continuation of the term of my predecessors in fact. And as far as the campaign plan is concerned, I'm just continuing that part of the campaign plan for which I will be sitting as the Chief of Staff. And as far as our campaign plan is concerned, supposed to be, we should have started yung effort natin against the CPP-NPA last year, 2016. But somehow this was affected by the conflict in Marawi and the need to focus on terrorism. But with the marching orders of the President and with the declaration of the NPAs as terrorists, for sure, we will be giving more importance and more focus on our operations against the CPP-NPA, especially now that we have observed an upsurge in the atrocities that they are conducting nationwide.
Sir, do you see a need to implement martial law for the whole country?
Let us not talk about martial law for the whole country dahil sa ngayon ang concern pa lang natin is the implementation of martial law in Mindanao. And even yung recommendation for the extension of martial law, although it was already passed sa ating Congress, we still have to work on its implementation come next year.
General George Guerrero from AFP. Itutugtog ko lang po muna doon sa tanong ni Joy na mali. Yung sa extension ng martial law sa across the country. May basis po ba yung fears katulad doon sinabi ni Senator Lacson na kung ang basihan ay ang NPA isa sa basihan? Ibig sabihin, pag nagkaroon ng skirmish sa Luzon o Visayas, pwede rin i-extend sa other islands?
We can never tell for now, no? Ang projections kasi natin can only extend up to what the information we have at hand. And based on the information we have at hand, ang kinakailangan, focus muna natin sa Mindanao. So, as for the other parts of the country, nobody can tell. It will depend on yung developments, and of course, it will also depend on the future actions of yung ating adversary.
Okay. Another point po, tungkol po doon sa kamakalabang pagsira doon sa weapons ng mga Maudi na kinanap sa pagpapasyon. Interesting po sana malaman kung ito yung naiproseso. Dahil ang tanong po, kung ito yung naiproseso, malalaman po ba kung mayroong mga weapons ng armed forces na napa sa kamay ng kalaban? Matitrace mo ba kung paano yun nakuha? Either they were smuggled, both traded or partnered?
Yes, definitely. Kasi may mga serial numbers ito, no? Of the number of firearms, mga 1,000 plus daw. 1,000 plus, I believe, no? Yung na-recover natin, no? During the conflict in Marawi. We've inventoried about 600, no? Marami-rami yun, eh. And as for the firearms that we've inventoried, so far, wala naman tayong nakita na pumapatak na dating kasama sa inventory ng AFP or the PNP.
Yung 400 plus po, hindi naman naiproseso.
Yung iba pinoproseso pa sa ngayon. You have to understand, many of the firearms kasi mga defaced na rin, eh. Iba are actually improvised firearms. And yung iba, sila na rin nag-fabricate.
Happy birthday po.
Thank you.
Sir, nagkakaroon sir ng troop movements po on the ground. My name is Lee Imson, sir, from TV5, by the way. Sir, nagkakaroon ng movement ng troops natin down the ground. Some troops from Western Mindanao Command nalipat na, sir, sa East Mindanao, I guess. And ano, sir, yung mga dapat natin i-expect and why is that, sir?
With the resolution of yung conflict sa Mindanao, no? I mean sa Marawi City, definitely we will have to realign yung forces natin accordingly for us to be able to attend to other security concerns in other areas as well. And right now, nakita natin with the upsurge of atrocities in Eastern Mindanao part, we have started to put in more forces dun sa Eastern Mindanao for us to be able to address yung problema dun. And similarly in other parts like Sulu and Basilan, and even in Luzon and Visayas. So that is an expected realignment.
Sir, sa mga susunod na months, ano ba yung mga i-expect ng public?
They can expect na a more focused military, intensified focused military operations to be conducted nationwide, most especially sa Mindanao.
Particularly, sir, to address the CPNP.
To address first and foremost yung remnants ng ISIS threat groups natin, and secondly, all other threat groups to include the CPP-NPA.
Last three questions.
Sige, okay lang, okay lang.
General Carmela po, sir.
Sige.
Sir, ano ma-expect ng residents of Mindanao with the extension of martial law for another year? Parang makakasilip ko ng funds.
What do they expect? Kasi ngayon, in-implement naman natin yung martial law sa Mindanao. Probably siguro less of yung mga skirmishes in Marawi dahil nag-wind down na tayo doon. But in other parts, particularly do sa NPA affected areas, they can expect more of the actions that are now being taken by the military, no? Siguro mas intensified lang in terms of yung scope at saka yung coverage. Intensified in the sense that they can expect more of yung mga patrols, checkpoints, especially in the population centers. Kasi ang habol natin dito is to establish yung visibility at saka presence, no, in these population centers to deter itong mga terrorist actions.
Is it correct to say, sir, that the focus will now be Eastern Mindanao after the battle in Mindanao?
It will be part Eastern Mindanao, no? But sabi nga sa inyo, meron din mga threat groups pa rin sa Sulu and Basilan and even in Central Mindanao, so kasama rin yan.
But focus will be in the
Mindanao, the entire Mindanao area.
Sir, isa na lang, sir. Ang fear, sir, ng mga some of the residents of Mindanao, those daw who were abused during martial law, will be afraid to come forward because of the martial law.
Come forward
Come forward
to complain.
Is there a mechanism, sir, for them to report abuses without clear
Of course, first and foremost, meron tayong Commission on Human Rights, di ba? So, they are accepting itong mga complaints, mga reports about abuses. And on the part of the AAP, we have also our own mechanism, no, to check on the discipline and on yung mga misconducts ng ating soldiers to make sure that they are accountable and they answer for any misdeeds.
How many soldiers was there are facing complaints?
We do complaints sa martial implementation.
Sir, you admit that some soldiers are facing cases because of looting. Yun lang
Cases of looting, sabi nga sa inyo, for now, wala akong alam na report of human rights violation that has come to our attention. Probably sa local level, kasi you have to understand, no? Many of these reports are already being resolved at the local level. So minsan hindi na umakit sa atin dito. And of the reports about yung looting ng mga soldiers natin, I believe this was already addressed because it was proven that yung mga alleged na mga appliances that were found loaded on board sa mga military vehicles were actually appliances being transported dun sa ating mga evacuation centers upon the request of the owners themselves. And yung iba kasi ni-recover natin tapos yung dineposit natin dun sa isang parang lost and found yun for the owners to claim.
Before we go for answer the just remind you, please just ask one main question na follow-up.
Sir, good morning. I'm Soberano of Alvarado, Philippines. Sir, ibang issue, sir, about the Baksha. Sir, ang PNP kahapon, sinabi ni Guerrero na about 14,000 PNP personnel ang nabakunahan po ng Baksha vaccine. How about po sa AFP? May nabakunahan po ba mga sundalo na Baksha vaccine? At ilan po ito? Sakali po, sir?
Wala akong information about that, pero we will verify and we'll get back to you with the information.
Sir, ang issue sa ASG, sir, sa Western Mindanao, sinabi niyo focus kasi sa Eastern Mindanao naman, considering yung maraming volume po ng NPA. Sa Western Mindanao po naman, ano po yung specific directives niyo sa ating mga kasunduluhan, lalo na po na malapit po tayo sa border ng Sulu at Malaysia po. Ano po yung mga bagong directives niyo sa ating mga commanders?
When I mentioned focus, I meant yung focus sa buong Mindanao. And yung priority natin sa Eastern Mindanao side is yung NPA, while on the Western Mindanao, ang priority natin is yung remnants ng ISIS threat. Now, about yung concern ninyo, yung securing yung borders natin, we have ongoing unilateral and bilateral and trilateral arrangements to enhance yung presence at saka yung maritime awareness natin sa southern border natin. We have a trilateral cooperative agreement with Indonesia and Malaysia when it comes to the Sulu Sea, and we have a bilateral agreement with Indonesia pagdating sa Celebes Sea. So this is a cooperation between the navies of both countries, Philippines and Indonesia, and on the Sulu Sea side, navies of 3 countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. So for now, nakikita naman natin na successful because we were able to curb yung incidents ng kidnapping. In fact, from a high of around 37 or 37, last year, yung kidnap victims natin has been down to 11, and we still continue to exert efforts to rescue yung mga kidnap victims.
Good morning. Sir, ano po lang, yung budget natin for martial for 1 year, pero pag allocated budget for that is currently, kasi di ba, ang basis ng pag-extend ng martial for 1 year is continuing yung rebellion, may ipapalabas po ba ang AFP at hindi ng bagong list ng mga possible na arrest natin in view of the extension ng martial law?
As far as the budget is concerned for the implementation of martial law, we are using yung existing releases na sa AFP for operations, and of course we have received additional support for yung intelligence activities namin in other operations. For the forthcoming year, kung may extend yung martial law, sa extension ng martial law, lumabas nga sa Kongreso that probably we should be requesting for additional funds, considering that the extension will be for 1 year. Now, as far as yung list, this is something that we will definitely be consulting with the other security forces for us to come up with a list of persons of interest, that definitely we will be going after as part of yung martial law implementation. Posible.
Sir, your term was extended by the President until next year. How are you planning to finish the terrorism in Mindanao, the remaining terrorist members in Mindanao? Is that extension enough for you to eradicate terrorism?
For me to say that I will be able to finish the terrorist problem within my term, considering that I will be serving only up to April, would be siguro overly ambitious. I'm just being practical, no? Sabi nga sa inyo, the AFP operates based on a campaign plan with set targets and timelines. And right now, may targets kami, no, as far as the neutralization of the terrorist threat is concerned. I'll do my best, no, to do the most that I can do given the time that I'm afforded, no, to serve as Chief of Staff. Yun lang siguro.
How challenging is this task for you? Kasi the AFP is keep on saying na konti na lang, parang remaining terrorists, parang hindi na sila doon capable.
You have to understand na yung statements na yun are based on data, no, acquired from the ground. And these are based on intelligence reports which are obviously not perfect, no. I mean, intelligence is not a perfect science. We rely on reports that we get from the people, captured documents. So yung estimates namin, although masasabi natin reliable, are not fairly accurate.
Yung 1-year extension ng martial law, ang pinangamba ng mga tao is yung human rights abuses na maaari na makumit. Huwag naman sa alam mo na. So anong assurance ko ng AFP sa mga tao sa Mindanao na i-uphold natin yung human rights?
Alam mo, that was the question posed to us, no, members of the AFP when martial law was first declared and extended, no. But somehow, palagi ko naman, we have proven ourselves worthy of the people's trust. We have been always professional. We have always been professional in our conduct. We have always exerted efforts to make sure that we are accountable and responsible for our actions. And clearly, from yung implementation natin ng martial law, no, from the time it was declared up to the time it was extended up to now, we have seen that the AFP has been faithful and committed in its performance of its mandate, especially in the protection of human rights, the observance of law, and yung ating commitment to ensure peace and security in our communities.
Sir,
Yes.
wait, line po from UND. Sir, yung mga civilian po sa Mindanao, ano po yung dapat na iwasan sa implementation ng martial law at ano po yung may tutulong nila para po sa mga?
Malaki may tutulong lang yung mag-share ng information, no, about yung mga threats, about mga security concerns, and even yung mga suspicious activities dun sa community nila dahil this will greatly help yung security forces natin in the implementation of their martial law mandate.
What to avoid?
What to avoid? Avoid committing acts that would render them suspicious of being complicit with yung mga terrorist groups, and of course observe yung ating laws and regulations.
Sir, si Mr. President, sir, yung comment, nag-request siya mag-close.
Sige.
Elaborate lang yung nakasama. How much budget do we intend to request para sa implementation ng 1-year extension ng martial law? Second, sir, what specific enemy activities from the military recommend yung expansion ng martial law over sa
How much are we planning to request, no, as additional support? Depende pa, hindi pa natin na-estimate yun. But for now, sabi nga, with or without additional support, the AFP is able to operate and perform its mission, no, given yung resources that we already have done.
What specific enemy activities from the military recommend yung expansion ng martial law over sa
Sabi ko nga, I would not dare to venture into such a topic, considering not only because it is speculative, but because sabi ko, it's too early in the day, no? It's too far in the future for me to project. Tingnan lang natin kasi yung actions namin will also depend on the political situation and also on the reaction of yung adversaries natin. Kung magiging violent sila, siguro the answer is obvious.
Thank you very much for your questions, members of FIDA, Guerrero, sir.
Sige, thank you. Hindi, nag-media fellowship na tayo, hindi ko kayo na... Alam nyo, pasensya na kayo, I've been receiving many texts, no, from you. Alam nyo, sa totoo lang, kapatid ko nga, hindi ko nga nasasagot yung text message sa akin. Even yung mga kamag-anak ko. So please understand, no, I am at a critical stage in my term as Chief of Staff. Naka 2 months pa lang ata ako. Hindi ko na nga alam kung anong araw ngayon. Ano ba ngayon? Biyernes ba? 15. Kaya pala grinit na ako na happy birthday niyo. Pero I appeal to your yung understanding nila. Please bear with me. Hopefully in the coming days, pag medyo magaanggang na, I will have more time interacting with the media. But for now, sabi nga sa inyo, patong-patong yung mga engagements ko, kauupo ko lang. So I have to catch up. Kinakailangan, learning curve ko rito, very steep. And I'm trying my best to catch up on all the things that I need to understand many of the concerns and actually have this kind of interactions for me to get a wider understanding and wider perspective of the extent of the concerns of the country pagdating sa security. So please bear with me. Maraming salamat.